Ladies and gentlemen, we have to admit something. Joe Rogan is guilty. Joe Rogan is 100% guilty. He is guilty of being far more relevant than the entire mainstream media put together. He is guilty of having such a powerful voice that people actually listen and trust him. And that's a very dangerous thing when dealing with the mainstream media and big tech. And Joe Rogan is now the focus of the mainstream, Hollywood, big tech, and the far left. Because Joe Rogan is the new orange man bad. Since Trump was deplatformed, now Trump is still relevant in their minds, but since he was deplatformed, they don't focus on him as much. His name still makes them cry. They still lose sleep at night over the name Donald Trump. But he's not a focus like he used to be. So they need a new target, and they've tried different people. They've tried Tucker Carlson. They've tried Elon Musk. They've tried a few other people. But Joe Rogan is such a powerful voice, and now he is the focus of all of them because these people need someone to be fake offended over. And I don't believe it will happen, but if Joe Rogan were to be deplatformed, they would find someone else to pretend to be offended over. Because if Trump was still there, they wouldn't be focusing on Joe Rogan. But now Joe Rogan is their focus. He's the person that makes them lose sleep. He's the dangerous voice. Joe Rogan has done absolutely nothing wrong. He's only been successful, and he only has the trust of people, which in their minds makes him dangerous. This is a good tweet right here. People trust Joe Rogan not because he's always right, but because he's transparent. He's transparent, curious, gracious, humble about knowledge, and willing to consider perspectives that challenge and reshape his own thinking. We need more of this in media, in politics, in business, and in life. Now, I respect Joe Rogan. I'm not an avid listener of Joe Rogan. I appreciate his takes on certain topics, no doubt about that, but he's not someone that I've consistently listened to. But much like what happens when the left tries to go after someone, I start listening and paying attention to them because I'm like, if they're this upset about this person must be doing something right. It's why I became a fan of PewDiePie. I was never a fan of the guy. I never watched his stuff. From afar, I always kind of criticized him, but once I saw them try to cancel him, I started paying attention, and I loved what the guy had to say. Joe Rogan is fantastic. And you have these pathetic has-been celebrities like Elvira trying to cancel Joe Rogan now. I stand with musicians and artists, not with quacks and hacks. This cause is close to my heart. Please sign. You don't know anything. You are a has-been. And you're trying to be relevant. That's all that's happening here. And it's going to continue to get worse. And if you look at it, it's got 81,000 signatures out of the 100K I guess they're looking for. But we have heard from Joe Rogan. And I think it's a really, really good take. So let's listen in right here.
I think there's a lot of people that have a distorted perception of what I do, maybe based on sound bites or based on headlines of articles that are disparaging. The podcast has been accused of spreading dangerous misinformation, specifically about 2 episodes, a little bit about some other ones, but specifically about 2. One with Dr. Peter McCullough and one with Dr. Robert Malone. Dr. Peter McCullough is a cardiologist, and he is the most published physician in his field in history. Dr. Robert Malone owns 9 patents on the creation of mRNA vaccine technology and is at least partially responsible for the creation of the technology that led to mRNA vaccines. Both these people are very highly credentialed, very intelligent, very accomplished people, and they have an opinion that's different from the mainstream narrative. I wanted to hear what their opinion is. I had them on, and because of that, those episodes in particular, those episodes were labeled as being dangerous. They had dangerous misinformation in them. The problem I have with the term misinformation, especially today, is that many of the things that we thought of as misinformation just a short while ago are now accepted as fact. Like, for instance, 8 months ago, if you said, if you get vaccinated, you can still catch COVID and you can still spread COVID, you would be removed from social media. They would ban you from certain platforms. Now, that's accepted as fact. If you said, I don't think cloth masks work, you would be banned from social media. Now, that's openly and repeatedly stated on CNN. If you said, I think it's possible that COVID-19 came from a lab, you'd be banned from many social media platforms. Now that's on the cover of Newsweek. All of those theories that at one point in time were banned were openly discussed by those two men that I had on my podcast that have been accused of dangerous misinformation. I do not know if they're right. I don't know, because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I'm just a person who sits down and talks to people and has conversations with them. Do I get things wrong? Absolutely, I get things wrong, but I try to correct them. Whenever I get something wrong, I try to correct it because I'm interested in telling the truth. I think there's
such a level-headed, respectable, common sense answer. Every normal person can connect with what he just said. Everybody that's normal, that's not trying to live your life as a fake victim, can listen to that and go, wow, that makes sense, man. He's such a regular guy. He's got such a regular head on his shoulders. You know, and I say that as someone that doesn't really listen to Joe Rogan consistently, and I hear him say that, and it makes me want to listen to him consistently now, because that is an incredible take. It's such a down-to-earth, level-headed take, and it's why they hate him. It's why they despise him, and they are not going to stop. They are not going to let up. So now is when we have to use our voices to show support for him. Yes, he is the most listened to podcast in the world. Yes, I understand all of that, but the people's voices matter now more than ever. And I'm going to be throwing my name into the hat to support Joe Rogan because this is absolutely ridiculous. They are simply upset because he is more relevant and popular than them. They did that to themselves. You lost the trust of the people. You lost the credibility because of your lies and your smears towards anything that doesn't line up with their narrative. And people are sick and tired of it. And that is the bottom line. Thank you guys for checking this video out. I appreciate it. I'm going to cover this more. I'm also going to talk about the truckers, the brave truckers in Canada. Just an incredibly inspiring story. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading a lot over here, but I've been busy with Geeks and Gamers, busy with Sports Wars, busy with Gaming with Geeks. A lot of things in the works, but more to come here on my D-Day Cobra channel. I appreciate all of you. Smash the melee button, comment below, share this video, subscribe if you're new, and we will talk to you later.